Hi there. Happy Wednesday, EXP agents. Appreciate you joining us. This is the training for Lofty for the CRM of choice that we have with EXP. EXP agents, thanks again for jumping in and joining us for the training today. I have Jason Selecki with me. Hey, Jason. Appreciate you joining me. He is a senior onboarding specialist here at Lofty, has a lot of knowledge on the product and specific areas and features within Lofty. He's um, has some specialization in and some understanding of, and he's helped me out a few times on some EXP training, so you guys may recognize him. He's fantastic. He's going to be getting into websites today with us with the EXP agents. There has been a number of different questions and things that have come up regarding the website options and capabilities that you have as you've jumped in and joined Lofty and set up your Lofty accounts. If you're still in a position of kind of making that decision, totally understand, and we're here to answer questions as we go through this training with Jason. Jason will have me just kind of pop in and out with questions as they come in. He may pause as well if there's a good place for a break. But Jason, again, appreciate you jumping in and joining me and getting into websites with these agents. And yeah, I can go ahead and pass the controls over to you.
All right, sounds good. Welcome, everybody. Again, my name's Jason. We're going to go through the website, and I'm going to make this as simple as possible. You know what? It already is simple as possible. 85% of this website's already built for you. So I'm going to take you through universal settings. You know how to do those. We'll show you navigational items so you know how to move around in your editor. And then we'll show you how to make some simple changes. But as I said, 85% of this website's already completed. Let's jump into it and let's take a look. Now, from your dashboard, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your main menu and you're going to click on website. When you click on website, you're not going to come into your website or CMS dashboard immediately. You'll come to this transitional page called site list. There's some information here I need to share with you. The first is Lofty gives you a temporary domain. It's going to include your name and lofty.me behind it. This temporary domain allows you to go in and complete that website the way that you want it to, get it all nice and shiny and bright and ready to use. Once you're ready to share that with the world, you can simply reach back to tech support, or we have simple ways that we can help you configure your domain to it. But best practice is not to configure your domain until the website's ready to share. You don't want somebody coming to your domain and seeing a website that's not completed. Second thing is that you can create agent websites as well. So if you have agents on your team, you can click up here and add what we call agent websites to them. Technically, they are subdomains of your website. It's going to be pretty much a clone of the website you complete here. They will have some changes they can make. They can put their own contact information in. On the agent website, they can put their own social media links in as well, and they can alter the filters of the MLS so it only shows a smaller area that they cover. But overall, it's going to be a clone of your website that you're completing. So for us to get into the actual CMS dashboard, we just click on whatever domain is here, and that will open up again the CMS dashboard, CMS standing for Content Management System. All website editors call them that, call themselves CMS, just like a word processor or a spreadsheet. So that's the technical term. You can refer to it as website dashboard as well. That's fine. Again, what we'll do is we'll start with settings. We'll go through all the universal settings you should be aware of, and then we'll come in and we'll actually jump into the actual editor tool. So on settings, when we click here, our menu opens up on the left-hand side. The first thing that I want you to do when you open up your settings is to check your domain that's listed here. This will be the final domain that you've given us that eventually you will configure to the website. Please make sure it's spelled properly and entered correctly. If not, please go ahead and click edit and change it. Now, when you do an edit on this, and it might be because it's spelled incorrectly, or maybe you just decided at the last moment to use a different domain. When you do edit that, our MLS team will get notice of that, and we will pursue that or follow up with you There more than likely could be some additional paperwork or signatures on your agreement to get processed. Next up is favicon. The favicon is the graphic that goes up in the tab browsers. I've chosen something neutral because I don't have a company logo myself. But if I were to add a favicon, I want to use my company logo. If I click edit here, I'm going to get a very simple, well, let's do this. Let's just go ahead and replace this and let's choose something I may have hanging around here. I'm going to get a very simple editor box. It's that blue line. Now my image may be bigger or smaller than need be. I can come in here and I can control the size of it with these buttons here. I'm going to bring it down to the size that I need. I want to make sure nothing bleeds off. Center it, hit OK, and now I have my favicon. Okay, and again, it's that graphic that goes up in the tab browsers, whether it's Bing or Chrome or Firefox or Safari. All right, let's jump into organization information. Here, what I want to do is I want to set up my team on the website. Now, you've already added your team to the CRM, and if that's the case, you don't need to manually add them to the website. You can simply come over here to the right-hand side, and on top, there's an import from CRM. When I click on that button, it shows me all my agents in the CRM that need to be added to the website. I click on their name and hit yes, and they will be pulled over. So get your team set up. That way you can introduce them on the website and have profile and other information for your team members. Additionally, next to that is an add display only button. Now this creates a display only for the website. There's no charge to create these displays. So if you have somebody integral on your team that doesn't require a seat on the CRM, but you want to introduce them with your other team members, simply click display only. Type in their first and last name, their contact email and phone number, upload their image, and anywhere that you're presenting and introducing your team members, this additional person could be introduced as well. I also suggest using display only, this button, and creating a profile for your company name. So for instance, if my company name was ABC Realty, I could come in here, I would break up the company name between first and last because both are required. ABC here, Realty here. I'm going to put my general email address here, info@abcrealty.com, a general phone number, and I'm going to upload my logo. The purpose of this is that there are several places on the website that we brand the website, like in the footer and a few other places, with the company owner, first and last name. And in some instances, that's acceptable. In other instances, that team wants the company name instead. So if the owner's name shows up and you've created a profile for the company name, there will be an edit button in that area. Simply click on it and alter those two different profiles. All right, let's move on. By the way, any questions or anything I need to review again?
No questions from the chat thus far, Jason. I am checking YouTube as well. Let me see here. Let me see. Actually, you know what? Stacy says, if we have licenses in multiple states and want to connect to those multiple MLSs, what is the cost us going to be for IDX feeds and connection?
Yeah, so for multiple IDX feeds, Lofty actually gives you 5 connections you can make under the same cost that it comes with the cost of the subscription. If you need more than 5, then there's a minimal monthly charge for any additional MLS that you would add. But at this point, you can add 5 of them. When I go through the website, there's a place on the footer called a custom area. And so if you want to show all multiple licenses there, that would be a great place to show it. Stacy, I'll try to remember to show that to you when I get to that location. All right. Anything else?
Great. Thanks, Jason. That's it for right now. We may have a few more here in a bit, but appreciate it, Jason.
Great. Let's drop down into lead capture. This is very important. These are great tools. What Lofty does is it gives you this pop-up window as a tool to capture names. Now, we have it defaulted to the listings page. So if somebody's on listings and they click into a specific listing for detail, what's going to happen is before they can review that information, this register window is going to pop up and require them to insert their name. You can change this to other locations, other pages, and how it pops up. I don't recommend that. We found the best place for it. We have it defaulted to higher conversion, which means as soon as they click on that new listing, this will show. If you are doing lead generation, if you're paying for PPC campaigns, if you're spending money on getting people to your website, if you're spending a lot of time in social media and driving people to your website, you do not want to change this from higher conversion. You're putting a lot of time and effort and resources to get people there. Be proactive, be assertive, and ask for that name right up front. Okay? Now, you can calm that down a little bit. I don't recommend it. Some people sometimes like to use our website just as kind of a walking space. The only way people get to the website is if you hand out the URL, or maybe it's on your business card, or maybe some other marketing material, but you're not proactively striving to get people to the website. It's there for their use. You can use custom. You can slow that down. You can choose the number of listings they can view before that window pops up. By the way, 1 is the same as higher conversion because we start counting it as soon as it appears. You can also do it on browsing time. If I choose browsing time, we measure that in seconds. Typically 90 to 150 seconds is more than enough. Again, I don't recommend this. I think that you need to be assertive and go for that higher conversion, but I want to give you options just in case. Now, once you've set your pop-up strategy, now let's take a look at the different styles of pop-up windows. There are 3 separate types. These 2 react the same way, but they look differently. So a single column effectively is looks like this. Your potential leads will insert their name, hit continue, email continue. They'll insert their phone number, they'll consent to being contacted by you and hit finished. So they're cycling through to get that information in. 2 columns, same exact thing. They're cycling through. However, the 2 columns has a whole different look. It's a bigger footprint. In that additional column, we give them the benefits of registration. Personally, this is my favorite. The third one is just all 3 fields collectively together with that consent to being contacted. They fill it out and they hit I'm finished. So choose whatever works for you. I will say this, when your lead hits I'm finished, they're truly not. What's going to happen is there's going to be one last step. It's a questionnaire settings. So we have this window pop up, and there are 2 different versions of this. We have a buyer version, we have a seller version. Now remember, this is on listings page. More than likely, people that are going through listings and looking through listings generally are going to be buyers. So more than likely, the buyer version of this is going to pop up. You, as I said, you can set that this whole system up on a different page. If you are gunning for sellers and that's really what your focus is, you could take this and move this to a home valuation page instead and have this pop up on that page and change it to sellers, or the sellers would pop up instead. So your choice. A few things about this. Now, when these windows pop up, you've already captured your contact, you've already collected their name, they're in your CRM already. This will be your very first interaction with them. Although it's automatic, you're not doing it yourself, this may make a lasting impression on how they want to do business with you. So you want to tread carefully. You don't want to frustrate them or annoy them. These questions in these systems are required. So what I suggest is soften this a little bit. There's 2 different ways you can soften this. First, you can click on this button here, allow to close. And what that does, it puts an X up in the box. And if they just choose not to answer these questions at this time, that will be the case. Additionally, you just might want to go through these questions and review them. If there's a question you can hold off for a while, just go ahead and click this icon, the slash through the eyeball, and it'll hide that question for the time being. Now, don't fret if they don't answer these questions, if they close this out and you don't get these captured at this time. There are other ways to get these questions answered through your own communications. In our smart plans, we have conditional questions that address these questions as well. And probably most important is if you assign the AI assistant to your leads, there is a task where they will get these questions qualified as well. All right, let's move on. Chat box settings. Now, oops, let's go back. Apologies. System's a little slow today. Not enough coffee. Here we go. This is the chat box setting. This header here with the profile picture and the name will not be set on the CMS side. I'm going to take you back to the CRM and just show you real quickly where that would be done. So I have my tab open here for the CRM. I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to be on the company level, and under AI Assistant, this is where I can change the name or I can change that profile picture. It defaults with the company owner's profile from their profile, but I can put a different picture in here. A lot of people usually put company names with corporate logos, but you can use any name and any image you want here. And that's where you'll set this header for the chat box. Again, keep in mind that the CRM, the AI assistant is going to reach out. It's going to engage your customers on the website. If they're not registered already, it's going to try to get them to register and fill out that consent box. All right, let's move on from here. We're going to go into tools. Now there are two different there's 4 tools. Two of these I'm going to show to you. The other 2 we can get back to later. First tool is that Lofty allows you to integrate all these different applications into your website. There are different products and structures, and they interact differently with the website. Google Analytics is for tracking behavior and activity on your website. Tag Manager is like an umbrella where you can load up multiple pixels that connect to your website for tracking. You can do it with one pixel through Google Tag Manager. Google My Business is probably the most popular. What this does is it helps integrate your reviews and other information. It will support you with leads from time to time. You simply hit Connect Now. It's going to pull up your Google accounts, and you choose the account that your Google My Business is on. It's a very simple way to make that connection. I can also choose, and almost as popular as Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel is a little bit different. Facebook Pixel will integrate and allow people to migrate back and forth between the Facebook business page and your website. And by the way, you can only integrate business pages, not personal pages. Here, what you're going to do is you're going to insert a pixel ID or a source code that is supplied by Facebook. You'll simply go to your Facebook business page, go to settings, look carefully. They do a good job of hiding it, but once you find it, you paste it here and save it, and you're connected. And as I said, there are several other different programs that you can integrate as well. Header meta tags, this is the first level of SEO for your website. And I will talk a little bit further about SEO shortly. But here, what you want to do is you want to put keywords in. They're going to be transparent to users, but they'll be picked up by the search engines. They go in the header, so they go across the entire website. A keyword doesn't have to be one singular word. It can be a keyword or keyword phrase. For instance, if I use my name as a keyword, I would enter my name as I normally spell it with a space. I'm going to put in a comma and a space to separate that from my next keyword I enter. Now you have 1,000 characters for your keywords here. The keywords that I suggest would be company name, company owner's name, agents' names, and the communities that you service. Once you put them in, please check spelling, hit save. They'll turn to code. That's supposed to happen. Um, and the big advantage of putting your meta tags in um, is when somebody's looking for a real estate agent, they do a search, uh, this will improve your performance or your ranking on that search. All right. Let's go ahead, and those were the key settings I wanted to review with you. If there are any questions, I'm going to change views now. Please let me know, Wilson.
Yeah, nothing new just yet. I've had some questions in the EXP World chat that are just kind of more general, not specific to websites. So I'm
Okay,
keeping an eye out in both areas for things that I may be able to run through you. But so far, no questions. Well, I think this type of training is sparking some questions for folks. But so far, they've been kind of more questions around how to get things going with the CRM of choice. So thank you so much.
perfect. You bet. All right, so we moved from settings. I went back to my dashboard. I clicked on editor. I actually should have clicked on overview because it brings us back to the dashboard. And there are two ways I can enter the CMS editor tool itself. As you saw with editor here, I can also just click on edit website and it's going to pull up my editor as well. So here what I want to do is I want to go through this navigational bar. I want you to be aware of how to move around and save changes and use your CMS editor. Many of you have probably used a website before, so some of this may be repetitive. Several of you probably have not, so they'll be very helpful. But I always like to start my navigation explanation with this publish button. This publish button is used by all CMS editors or all website editors. I think it's a little confusing. I wish somebody would have thought of something different 30 years ago when we started this, but it's publish. And this publish button is how you save incremental changes as you're editing your website and updating it. A lot of people look at publish and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to be publishing this to the world and I don't want to do that. You know what? Technically you are. You're publishing it to the world, but you're using that temporary domain that we gave you where nobody will find it or see it. So again, this is how you'll make your incremental changes. Let me demonstrate. Let's say that I really wanted to pop and make this title stand out and catch a lot of eyeballs. So what I would do is I would hit the edit button on the block that it's on the hero block. And when I hit that edit button, I can click into content or the heading and the subheading, and I can go ahead and make my changes. So let's go ahead and put some words in here that really will capture people. All right, we're really, really great real estate agents. I like that. That's going to really shine. Now, look what happened to my publish button. It became bright blue, which means I can save that change. Before I do, however, what I want to do is I want to explain these two navigation buttons. These are toggle buttons. If I hit the back button, it's going to take it back to the change that was or what this was before my change. And if I hit the forward button, it's going to reinsert that change. So I can kind of look at this and measure, do I really want to do this? And you know what? I do. So I'm going to hit publish and I'm going to save that change. Get in the habit of hitting this publish button often. I get a lot of calls from customers who ask me how they can go back and save the changes that they lost. They made 45 minutes worth of changes. They got a phone call, got distracted, got up, went to lunch. Somebody turned off their computer or closed out a Lofty, and all those changes went away. So hit that publish button often. It's a best practice. Now, what makes this publish button even more confusing is right next to it is a save icon. And this also is an important icon. This saves the entire website. You'll want to do this for in case something happens catastrophically. You can always come in, click into save version, and reinsert and reinstall your website. So you definitely want to make a change make a save as soon as the website's completed and you're about to publish it. Not a bad idea to do that as you're building it. Maybe at the end of the day, save a version of it in progress so you know that it's a working version, not the final version. You can save, I think, 6 versions altogether, so you might have to delete some older versions to save a new one. This button allows you to create QR codes for whatever page you're on. Right now, I'm on the home page, so if I clicked on this, it would create a QR code for the home page. These 2 buttons are to view your website on the actual internet. Now remember, as you're building it, you're in a tool. You get a pretty good representation of what your website is, but not specifically. So if I click on the atlas, I'm going to open up a whole new tab, and now I can see my changes as people would see it when they come to my website. Okay. Or I can click on the eyeball, and it's going to open up that view in the same tab that I'm currently in. And I can hit back to edit and come back into my editor. All right, these 3 buttons are also very important. First is you want to set the width of your page. Length doesn't really matter, people can scroll down, but width is how it displays on monitors. So if you have a lot of customers who are using iPads or laptops, maybe you want to shorten that length or that width. It does default to the 1920 platform, but you can alter that with these changes. Just like the view your page on the internet, you also want to view your page on the 2 different versions you're building. Yes, I said that. You're actually building 2 different websites. You're building the desktop, and we also scale down a version for mobile, a mobile version as well. Let's go ahead and click in the mobile version, and you want to come in here often and see the changes that you've made and make sure that they work on the mobile version as well as they do the desktop. So for instance, that punched up title that I put in all of a sudden doesn't appeal to me. It's on the mobile version, it's going over 3 lines. It looks more like a paragraph. I need to change that back to what it was. I can do that here right in the mobile version, or I can go back to the desktop. Let's do that. Let's go into content, and let's remove our addition and bring it back to what it was. All right. This is important. Keep in mind, because you have 2 different websites you're building or creating, you want to make sure they both present well. You might have to make some compromises on what that desktop was so that it looks just as good or looks great on the mobile version as well. So keep an eye on both versions and make sure that your changes look good. For those of you who are observant, you might have noticed that I had a different background image on my mobile version. I just want you to know, we'll go over this again. Anywhere you insert an image in the Lofty website, you can create or insert a different image into the mobile version. It can be a completely different picture, or you can take this image and you can crop it a little bit different so it'll show a little bit better in the mobile version. The reason we do this, 2 distinct orientations. Desktop is very landscape oriented, and the mobile version is going to be very portrait oriented. All right, that is the navigational tools. And Wilson, sounds like there might be a question.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jason. I think some of the questions that are coming in most recently here are kind of more around folks that maybe have been in KV Core, now called Bold Trail, coming over from there to Lofty. So a question from Jorge here was, once I migrate to Lofty, what will happen to my Bold Trail or KV Core website and my domain? Well, I have to go ahead. Sorry.
If you want to finish that question, please do.
I was just going to say, will I have to build and connect everything again from scratch?
Yeah, Jorge, great question. So a domain is actually like an address. And in the real estate business, when you help people move from one house to another, they actually move to a new address. In the website business, you actually take your address and move it to your new location. So what you're going to do is you're going to build out the website on that temporary domain so you don't have to pull down your existing website. When, again, it's all shiny and bright and you're ready to share it with everybody, you're going to reach back to Lofty and we'll assist you. And what we'll do is we'll point that domain or that address to your new website. The old website will disappear. Nobody will be able to find it. But your customers that were coming to the old website now will be coming to your new website and moving along with you as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jason. Willie kind of has questions around some of the same lines with what you were saying, but his just was when setting up the website details. What if you already have a vanity website? Is there a way to point where my vanity site can link to my Lofty site? So, kind of what you were just saying or reiterating that as well, Jason. Just as far as connecting with us to point that domain, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And a domain cannot point to two different locations. It can only point to one website, or the IP addresses can only go one place. However, and this question might go into this aspect. Some people have multiple domains that they have gathered. So if you want your other domains to show the same website, contact your registrar. The registrar would be like GoDaddy or Bluehost or Squarespace. And what they can do is they can point those second and third domains to this website. It's not connected, but when somebody clicks on those additional domains, it jumps them to this website as well. Okay.
Perfect. And then one last question from Willie here. He says, will Bold Trail move any content over to Lofty? Willie, some of those things were kind of addressed, I think, with your previous questions as far as the website goes. But when it comes to like your import of leads, contact information, there is, when it comes to Bold Trail or KV Core, there is something within Lofty when going to import that'll give you kind of a. I know we have some options in there, Jason, directly when importing, and that I know KV Core or Bold Trail is one of the options if you're importing from a previous CRM. So
that's correct. If in settings in the CRM, you can click in the lead import. We actually have filters for KV Core that will help match up the fields and pull that information a lot easier.
Perfect. And that's Willie, that's going to work, KV Core, Bold Trail, it'll work the exact same way within Lofty when importing those details. One other quick thing, Jason, I'll pass the controls back to you. Kendra just said concierge service to assist in onboarding specifically with website and integration of other domains. That came in through YouTube. Kendra, I would just, as far as while you're building that, if you run into some things, you can reach out to a dedicated email address we have set up for the CRM of choice. That's expsupport@lofty.com. That came in through YouTube, so I didn't have a quick direct way to write back directly. So I just figured we'd take that to the questions we did live here. So that's it for now, Jason. We can jump back and answer some questions here in a bit.
Perfect. Okay, great. So we've gone through the navigation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to explore our actual main menu bar. There's just 4 little icons on this. It's a vertical menu, but these are all very important. First thing we're going to do is click into our second level of SEO. This is my favorite. I want to talk a little bit about SEO, give you some background before I go further. What is SEO? Let's think about this logically. Search engines are in the business of serving information. They want to make sure they put their best foot forward. So what they do is they go out and they send their little spiders and bots to measure websites and see how well they're constructed. There's certain ways that the search engines want pictures to show and content to be displayed and lengths of pages and all kinds of different things that they give marks to or scores to. The better or the more accurate or the more compliant your website is with the search engines, the better chance you have of getting served and get served higher as well, because they want to make your website show more than somebody who doesn't put the care into it. So this SEO is going to be very specific on breakdown of the SEO analysis and keyword relevance. It will give you scores. If you have a green score, that means you're doing a really good job. If you have a yellow score, it means you could have improvement. And if there are red scores as well, which means please change this. Now, there are different results when you click into these. If I click into some of these, I will get a very specific response. Please change this. Here is a sample. Here's what our recommendation is. There are other things I'll click into. It'll just bring me to an article by Yoast. It'll inform me of what the concept is for that, what they're trying to get me to improve, and leave it up to me to make those improvements. I can't tell you how strong of a tool this is. However, as great of a tool as this is, I'm going to ask you to only use it on 1 or 2 pages. You're going to use it on your home page. It'll give you great strength there. There's a folder called About Us where you have maybe 1 or 2 pages there. My Team, About Us, that you can use it on there as well. The reason I'm suggesting that is a lot of the pages we have, like your listings pages and your market snapshot and your home valuation page, Lofty for the most part controls the majority or a clear majority of the information on that. We are already working and adding and updating SEO on those pages. The pages that you add content to, the home page, you're putting bios in on either My Team or About Us page. You control that, and so this tool will be helpful in those pages and those pages only. Okay? All right, next is style. If you want to change your template, for the longest time said, don't change template. I actually ran into a situation this week where it made sense. Let me give you some warnings about changing template. Once you've chosen a template and you've made changes, a lot of people come in and they say, oh, I like this picture. I like the way this picture is. I'm going to choose this template. Ain't going to happen. If you started making changes, we protect the content that's in the existing template and we do not change it out with the new template. Pages and pages, the way pages are set up will change, but the content itself will not change. So if you go in here and you say, gosh, my website's really dark, and you choose a template that's lighter, that looks a little bit nicer, yeah, that's a reason to change templates. But remember, things that you expect to change, like this image, will not change once you start making changes. So be careful if you change your template. You can also come in to theme and you can change key items on a universal level, title size and color and button style. Those are all universal changes. All right, these last 2 buttons on the main menu are the heart and soul of your website. I can't say it any clearer than that. This is where everything happens. And I always like to give you a breakdown, a hierarchy of a website. If I were to define a website, I would define it as a collection of digital pages offering information, tied together with a menu. I mean, that's probably the simplest way I can think of. Okay, and that's all our website is. It is a series of pages. If I click here into pages, here's all my pages. So here's my menu bar. That is all our website is. In addition to that, all our pages are made up of a series of blocks. Header, hero block, reviews block. So that's our hierarchy. Menu to pages to blocks. Think of Legos. You're just putting the smaller blocks on the bigger blocks to make that picture or that image. All right, I've clicked into pages. A few things I want to point out. Notice where my home page is at the very top. Look, it matches up my home menu link right here. Then I have my buy folder, and here's my buy here. If I wanted my sell folder in front of my buy folder, I can simply grab that whole folder and just drop it above, and now I've switched those. So you can set up these pages and these folders any way that you want to. Let's look at all the different information you have here. This is all the things we put into your website, and there's pages that are actually hidden in buy and sell. Oops, I clicked into a page. Let's go back to home. These are your displayed navigation. These are all the pages we've added to your website that's ready to go. All you're going to do is put your content in and your images in. Now, below displayed navigation is hidden navigation. This too is part of your website. Hit your publish button when it's bright. Here's the difference. Think of an iceberg. Display navigation is the portion of the iceberg above sea level. Everybody can see it. Hidden navigation is the portion of the iceberg below sea level. No one can see it. So even though it's part of your website, people can't get to it. There are many good reasons to have these pages hidden. You might use them for storage. Or Lofty puts in additional pages and details when somebody clicks on listings or your agents to flesh out information. Or you might want to have limited access to something, like you have a page for contact us, but you don't want that part of the website where everybody sees it. They come to what we call a CTA, click on contact us, and it links them to that page that's hidden. They can still see it. Or even better, you might have a page in here for recruiting. You've been using Lofty for 6 months, your business is going through the roof, you have to add 2 new agents. So you create a page for potential agents to come through and view and fill out a quick form. You can put it in hidden navigation and you can distribute it through texting or email, and people can get to that page and review it. All right, let's give you some examples how to add pages into the display navigation. So I have this calculator page. This is the home calculator page. Simple, you've seen them on most websites. It's in hidden navigation. No one can see it. I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to drop it on the other side into display navigation. And look what happened to my menu. We now have this as part of our website. Now, between you and I don't know that I would dedicate a link in my menu to a calculator page. But what I might do is I'll grab this page and I'll drop it in my buy folder. And now it's still part of my website. Let's hit publish. Let's go and view what we just changed. I'm going to come into my buy folder and there's that calculator page. And literally in seconds, I've added this whole page to my website. Okay. Great. Now, there may be other pages you want to add. If that's the case, if you click Add Page here, if they're not in hidden navigation, we have templates set up so you can create your own pages, a listings page or a market snapshot page or a groups page or a mortgage calculator or affordability, a calendar page. This allows people to schedule their own time with you. Here's that recruiting page for those agents you're going to need in 6 months. Okay. A blank page is a clean slate. You can just pull in the different blocks you want on that page and create it from scratch. And last but not least, you can create a linked page. You can actually link a page that exists somewhere else on the internet and link it into your website. Now, let's do this. Let's add some pages. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but there's actually a folder in my display navigation that doesn't show. And the reason for that, it doesn't have content. I need content in this. This would be a great place to show featured neighborhoods. So before I do that, what I need to do is I need to come up to my dashboard and click into my areas and make sure I actually have areas to show. And here I do. I have cities and I can add neighborhoods as well. Let's add one of each. Let's come in here. Let's click Add a City. And we're going to add a city in North San Diego called Encinitas. There it is. I click on it. The map shows me the layout of Encinitas. Yep, that's what I want. I hit save. It's now in my featured areas or my areas. By the way, if you add an area, subdivision, neighborhood, or city, it has to have 3 links. We largely depend on your MLSs to get us this information. So if it doesn't have 3 links, it cannot show in the website. That doesn't mean down the road, whether it's a week or a month or 6 months, it will have 3 links and you can show it. But if it only has 2, it will not show. All right, let's go add a neighborhood as well. And again, in the San Diego area, there's a little subdivision called Linda Vista. And there it is right there. I can either click subdivision, which would be slightly different, or neighborhood. Let's do subdivision. And I hit save. And now it's in my neighborhoods as well. All right. And again, it has 3 links. All right, let's go back to our editor. And let me show you how simple this is to create pages around those areas. I'm going to come into my pages. I'm going to go into that folder. And when I hover over the folder, I can add pages by clicking the plus sign. Now, again, remember I want to do featured areas that are neighborhoods. I have different templates I can use. I like the map on top. And I'm going to use my neighborhoods, my subdivisions. So Linda Vista, Tierra Santa, University City, and Pacific Beach. Let's use those. I don't have to use all of them. In fact, it's best practice not to put 20 or 30 neighborhoods there. I see people do that all the time. I find it annoying. I think it defeats the purpose. You want your neighborhoods and your featured areas to be featured. Areas that are very active, very popular, or you have a certain expertise in. But in a matter of moments, I just created 4 new pages. Let's hit publish and let's go to the website and take a look at that. Here's my neighborhoods, and let's pop into Pacific Beach. And I just created 4 pages just like this. Now, my MLS is limited. I haven't got the proper upgrade. Normally, what this would show is key real estate demographics, like average sale, average price, number of homes that are available. It would show me recent listings. It'll show me sold listings, which I can find. I can keep scrolling down. I can see housing detail. I can see nearby locations, key things, community, commute score, temperature, demographics, all kinds of great things. We just created 4 pages like this in a matter of a minute or 2. So it is so easy to get this information and make this website the way that you want it to be. All right. Now I'm going to show you one other way you can add those key areas in. We're going to go to my home page. And instead of doing it on pages, I'm going to introduce you to blocks. And let's put a series of blocks in here to feature areas. Now we put subdivisions and neighborhoods up on the menu. Let's do this. Let's find featured areas. And let's do cities here. I'm going to drag this block right here. It's going to load up certain areas. This may not be what I want to show, so I can hit the edit button and I can add and delete areas. I want to add and delete the areas I want to use. So again, I want to do the cities in North County, San Diego. I don't want my subdivisions. Let's remove those. This isn't a subdivision, but I'm going to remove it anyway. All right, and then I can simply click on add an area. So I want North County, San Diego cities. They must all be over here, Carlsbad, Del Mar. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay. And this is my block that will now feature these areas. As you can see, I can dress up the block. I can put community images. Maybe it's a historical theater. Maybe there's an event like an art fair, or maybe it's just a beautiful shot of the city itself. But I'm going to put in some neat areas here. The way that I do that is I can simply click and edit each of these cities and add that information. When I click on these, I'm not going to show them to you, but it's the same exact pages we saw in the neighborhoods above. So these pop and link to full pages with full information. All right, we're pushing time. The last thing, 2 last things I want to show you. I want to quickly go through other blocks that you can pull in and add to your website. I want to give you the ones that I think you probably want to use and review. Agents. This is how you can introduce your team. You have all kinds of different templates, and these will have multiple pages behind them when they click into them. Reviews, please, please, please make sure everybody knows the great things people have said about you. We do have a reviews page already created for you. It's not a bad idea to add reviews in multiple areas. Not a bad idea to put one on the home page as well. I love these 2 in content. Media allows me to insert images, a library of images, or videos. So if I have stories to tell or testimonials that I want people to review, this is a great place for them. Same with the content, kind of the same concept, but this is storytelling. This allows me to tell stories like a before and after, different setups for the story, Maybe I have a column over here and my picture over here with multiple pictures they can click into. A, B, C, a cascading different type of story. Two columns where I have a key title and my information on the back. So I can set up all kinds of different formats and ways to tell these stories or review or communicate an idea or thought. Call to action also is important. I kind of showed that to you. That is creating links where people can jump to other pages. Great way to get people to expand and review your website. Last but not least, the one I want to show you is form. I don't think I have a form in here. Let me drag one in. And what forms do is they actually allow you to capture information. This goes into your CRM as an opportunity when they hit submit. All right. Now, the last thing I want to show you, and really quickly, we're going to show you 4 things you must change on your website to make it professional. Again, most of this website's done. If you do these 4 things, it's completely done. 3 of these 4 changes or items I'm going to have you address are on the home page. First is the header. Please come into your header, click on the edit button, and make sure that your menu presents properly. This is where you can add your logo. I can also scale the size of that so it matches properly. I can change color on this. I can add an additional logo. I can even go to style and change the whole style of the website and choose a completely different header altogether. All right. So header is 1. Make sure you clean up your header. Second is the footer. Now, all the things I did in the header, I can do in the footer as well, and then some. So those changes I just showed you, you want to make sure you do those in the footer as well. Again, you can choose a different style, but there's 2 additional things on the footer I want to show you. Stacy, this is for you. You were asking about those licenses. Here's that custom area where if you have 3 or 4 licenses from multiple states, you can go ahead and list them all out here. That way, they're showing to all your customers. You may have one showing initially. If you change your profile, you could remove that and just show them all in the same places, or you can show your primary one as it does and show the additional ones here. Also, I may need to add disclaimers. I can add multiple disclaimers to my footer by clicking to here. Last but not least, I just want to demonstrate to you that display profile I made for my company. This is how I changed it. It used to be my name, and I just simply come in here, I hit that edit button, and I change it to ABC Realty instead. All right, that's change number 2. Change number 3, we've already talked about. It's the hero block. It's the most important piece of real estate on your whole website, believe it or not. It's this block here. We went in, we changed the content on it already. I showed you about images. If we click in here, I can change images from mobile to desktop, but maybe more important, instead of a static image, I can insert a slideshow or a carousel. I can have movement here, which is very important, eye candy. Or I can insert a video here as well. So I can, again, clean up my content. I want to make sure my title is strong, my subtitle is strong, and I want movement in here if I can help it, okay? There are some search changes here. I use buttons. You can change these to other styles. To be honest with you, a lot of our new templates and hero blocks don't even have the search engine in it anymore, but if you have, that's how you change it. Let's change that back to button, publish. All right, the last change, and again, I spoke about it previously, is I want you to come in to your About folder, and I want you to go through all 4 of these pages. These 2 pages, My Team and About Us, most companies that I deal with only need one of these 2. If I click into My Team, what I want you to do is I want you to change this placeholder. If I come to your website and I see We Are Here, I'm going to call you to task. You also have in this secondary here, it looks like a subheader. This is actually 2,000 characters to put in a nice description of your company. So when people click in My Team or About Us, they know exactly who you are and why they should choose you as a real estate agent. You have some other boxes here or blocks. You can add your own personal blocks as well if you want to upgrade this. Last but not least, this reviews page. I don't know how many websites that people ask me to review, and then I come here and there's no reviews here on the reviews page. I do want to show you how simple it is to get a review in, and then we'll call it a wrap. If I click on the edit button for reviews, and by the way, this may just be a blue, there may be no information in here because it doesn't have content. I can go down to manage reviews and I can add one manually, or in my review source, I can click in here. And if I'm using Google, Zillow, or Rate My Agent, I can automatically stream in my reviews. All right, that is a wrap. If there are any questions, let's go ahead and tackle those.
Jason, thank you. It's been great. Yeah, one or a couple just quick things to address. One from Jorge says, I currently have 426 leads in my database. Can your automation tools be applied to these existing leads? Yeah, I mean, I can jump in here. I would say, Jorge, there's a couple parts to this question that I'll address the other part, but the 426 leads can be, once brought into Lofty, you can apply things through smart plans, the AI automation, ability to use AI with those leads.
Automatic property alerts.
Yeah, there's a number of automations. Thank you, Jason, that could be applied to these leads. I feel like earlier in the training, you'd asked a little bit about like the timeline for the website. That's going to vary a little bit depending on if you're going full SEO, if you're going the IDX subdomain. So it's kind of hard to say exactly how long it's going to take. I mean, you probably saw from the training today with what Jason went through, this is a pretty smooth and quick process to build this out. But as far as exactly how long it's going to take, it's going to vary. There's going to be things involved like, pointing the domain, moving the domain, things like that. Because I think you're coming over from Bold Trail from what I could tell in previous questions you had asked. So sorry, Jorge, not like super crisp, concrete answers, but hopefully that's helpful. Marie Scarpola, I will try to get you that information you'd asked for earlier in the training around those leads, generating those leads. And then Christopher asked, can I plug in an AI agent I built into the platform? And unfortunately, Christopher, you would not be able to do that within Lofty. The AI functionality is already built into Lofty. So I believe that's everything that's come in through these chats, and we are a little bit over time. But Jason, do appreciate you joining me today. Again, outstanding information on websites and EXP agents. Thanks so much for joining. We'll be continuing to do this series of trainings touching on different topics within Lofty. So thank you so much, Jason. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Cheers.